And as far as you actually getting into the wrestling business yourself, it sounds like you were a lifelong fan. How did you get hooked up with the Sheik to start training with the Sheik and Sabu?
So at this point, I am bagging groceries at Main Street Market in Battle Creek, trying to try to make enough money and save money to go to wrestling school. And I had visited Killer Kowalski's school in Boston, which I did right after graduating high school. It was an experience, just taking a trip like that. And also, besides the expense, the tuition of the school, I was somehow going to have to figure out how to afford living in Malden, Massachusetts, which was really expensive. But I was determined. I was going to make it happen, whatever. So I'm bagging groceries, and a big 350-pound power lifter comes through there, and I started a conversation with him because, you know, he was kind of striking. I said, "Damn, dude, if I had your size, I'd make a lot of money. I'm gonna be a wrestler." And he's like, "Well, I wrestle." And turns out that he was training with the Sheik, and so he ended up bringing me to meet the Sheik in what would be my tryout when Sheik took a look at me in December of '89. Yep, December of '89. It was right before my 19th birthday, and that's when the first time I met Sheik and Sabu. It was in a ring that was in the Sheik's son's mechanical garage in Lansing, Michigan. It was middle winter, very cold, snowy everywhere, and the garage was freezing, and they had cut the ring in half to fit it into the garage. So it was 8 feet by 16 feet. That was my first time stepping into a ring and trying to run the ropes and whatever. I mean, they tested me for all kinds of coordination and leverage and balance, and pulled me and pushed me around quite a bit. And by they, I mean Sabu doing it and Sheik monitoring from the floor. I feel like I've told the story like several times, but it was way different back then than it is now. I had to prove myself first off to even be worthy of the Sheik's time, because that meant a lot to the Sheik if someone's going to put his stamp on their career. And also, it was a very onerous situation where if people trained you back then, they wanted you to sign, a contract for a year, 2 years, whatever, that they could control your bookings and stuff, because you go and someone does something stupid with you, and then you end up being a laughing joke, and then you're going to say the Sheik trained you. No, fuck that. He wasn't going to stand for that. He wanted to he wanted to make sure that the credibility of his name wasn't compromised, which is a good idea. It's quite different now. I've heard that some people teach like safety first, which is a joke to me. But that wasn't even in there. Safety wasn't even a concern. I never one time got taught or told, she never said, here's how to land without hurting yourself, or here's how to slam a guy and take care of him. No, there was none of that. It was all about grappling. It was about grabbing and squeezing. Anytime someone's back was on the mat, you're trying to pin him. And he had us in this mindset where, we believed that we were in competition the whole time. And it's something that I see lacking nowadays because it's just changed so much. Now it used to be protect the business was the number one rule. Now it's not even a factor. Now it's like, here's what we could do without protecting the business, and there's a reason that a lot of shit they do now no one did before, because it didn't fit. So I see a lot of that where they're not in the mindset where they're actually competing, because they're all 10 people standing beside each other waiting to catch a guy that hasn't even bounced off the opposite ropes yet. I mean, there's little moments, where they're so out of the moment. But anyway, like I said, that was a long time ago. It's definitely changed a lot, and so that's part of what it's changing into.
Were you intimidated by the Sheik at all because he had such a mystique about him back in those days?
Yeah, I had to look him up. Like I had heard the name, but like a lot of people, I was like, "Was that the Iron Sheik?" And I was told he was a top box office attraction in the '60s and '70s, and then learning the credibility, everything that Kowalski School would have had, the credibility, uh, the amount of people that he's trained. The tuition was important, of course, because some tuitions were 4 times what others were. But interestingly enough, Sheik and Killer Kowalski, because I thought I was going to go to his school, they both got trained by the same guy way back in the day too. And so I thought that was interesting. Bert Ruby was the name of the old timer that trained the original Sheik and Kowalski. And yes, I was very intimidated. In fact, the last thing we wanted was for Sheik to get in the ring, which he would do sometimes. He was already at least in his late 60s when I met him. I'm gonna have to look that up and see exactly, but he was definitely an old man that took a while to get up out of the chair. He didn't want it. He was going to make it worth his while, because if he got up and got in the ring, it was to liven us up, or wake us up. He would get up and he would just stretch us and grab us, slam those big hands into our throat, choke us, back into the corner, like bite on our nose with these big eyes. And yeah, I mean, it was very intimidating. So he would do that, and then afterwards he'd say, "I'll get him," and you'd be fired up, and it worked. Because you'd be fired up, and also you didn't want Sheik to come back for round 2.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.